I got to check out Voyage of Time, which is an IMAX experience from Terrence Malick. He was the writer and director, and this has been it's been described as his 10-year pet project, though at the premiere I did hear 40, and I would like to know what exactly he was doing 40 years ago, because my God. And this version is narrated by Brad Pitt for the IMAX experience. It's only 45 minutes long. There is a longer version narrated by Cate Blanchett, and it is apparently very different. I will talk about that in just a second. This talks about the timeline on Earth, ranging from the Big Bang to the dinosaurs to ostensibly now. In different reviews, I've heard of the Cate Blanchett version of this movie. She's described as, well, it describes Brad Pitt actually as being more of having a sense of astonishment rather than explanation. And I personally probably would have enjoyed the sense of explanation more. So I'm very curious to see the Cate Blanchett version. Perhaps that's a brilliant marketing tool. But the Brad Pitt version of this film, which is the one I saw and is the one I'm reviewing, was very interesting, more philosophical, more related to, I would say, the human experience than maybe the scientific experience of the Earth. Brad Pitt asks a lot of very existential questions, such as, why is there something rather than nothing? Why are we here? What are we doing? How did this happen? And there is a very stark contrast between this shot that they keep returning to over and over, which is, it's a little girl standing alone in a grass-filled field on the outskirts of a town near a construction site. So you can see buildings and you can see cranes, but you're mainly focusing on a little girl standing in a grassy, dried grass field right there. And when you contrast that with the other images that it starts with, such as how the Earth came to be, when the molten lava stopped from the rains and the minerals came out, and we see life slowly evolve from a single-celled, simple bacterium into creatures, into different kinds of like quadruped dinosaurs. It was that part of the movie I really did appreciate, and it does make you appreciate the vastness and the eons of time that have passed and the majesty of evolution, really. It's very good on that aspect, and we do have a lot of different even technology that has gone in to make this, like V-Ray footage and different methods of filming from the minuscule to the vastness of space, the greatness of the universe and beyond. Like a lot of IMAX movies, this does make you feel very, very, very small and insignificant in proportion to the rest of time and space. So it did make me feel like, you know what? It doesn't matter that much when bad things happen. So it will put you in that mindset at least. It was a very interesting, I really love the visuals. Not all of them are perfect, but some of them are so great that you're able to forgive what is less great, per se. It talks a lot about the big versus the small, or the small versus the smaller versus the smaller and smaller and smaller, and greatness, and all of that combined. It is framed in kind of a weird way, which makes me think I would prefer the Blanchett version. It opens up kind of like a poem with the Brad Pitt narrator saying, "Dear child," you know, talking to, I guess, humanity as children, which does make sense. We are relatively young compared to how long everything else has been around. And it does frame it as a parent talking to a child. There's one part, this is probably a pet peeve, that I really didn't like, which is, we're spending all this time talking about scientific elements. We're talking about the Big Bang. We're talking about evolution. We're talking about mass extinction. And then we get to this part where the narrator is like, what force could bond us? Is it love? And I hate it when ostensibly scientific things use the concept of love as a cop-out. And that is where Interstellar fell apart for me, and that is where this film disappointed me the most, I would say, because I was expecting something more grounded in science and fact and evidence, as opposed to the idea of love I liked when they touched on the idea of when did we start feeling conscious, or not we, but the collective of living things. At what point did an animal realize, wow, what a great thing it is to be alive and in a body and breathing and eating and moving? Because those are thoughts I've had before. I've had them since I was a child, which is, it's a miracle that I'm in a body right now. I can see, I can talk, I can think things. What is this? Because this does make you wonder greater questions of, it is crazy that any of us exist at all. And it makes you appreciate that at the very least, while also, like I said earlier, making you feel very small and insignificant in the great scheme of things. Overall, I would say it's a wonderful film. I really long to see the version that's twice as long as the one I saw, because I would like to see these concepts explained further. For instance, after the dinosaurs died out, the narrator just says, and then life rebounded, which is a process I think deserves to last longer than one sentence, personally. If you have the choice between Voyage of Time, the IMAX experience, and A Beautiful Planet, which is another IMAX experience, I personally prefer A Beautiful Planet. That's the one narrated by Jennifer Lawrence. You may disagree with me, though. Voyage of Time is opening up very soon in IMAX theaters if you would like to check it out. Please let me know what you think. This is what I think. If I had to give it a star rating out of 5, 3.5. You may differ, though. Let me know what you think below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.